Hi everyone, my name is Jack. I'm a CTO and a co-founder at StellarSoft. And for the today's series, I'm joined by Roel Schatorje, founder of MOYU, a company that didn't just rethink the notebooks, but also is actively trying to redesign how paper packaging and waste systems work. So MOYU operates mostly in the B2B business, extremely with circular models, and now pushing more into the international sales. And all that while trying to stay commercially sane. Royal, great to have you here.
Hi Jack, good to be here, man. Thanks.
Thank you. So before we talk business, what originally pushed you to start Moyo? Was it frustration, curiosity, or something else?
I kind of started the business when I learned how much impact the paper industry had, and I learned about some paper alternatives. So one of them was stone paper, and that was tree free. And then if you read into the paper industry and how it's harming our planet, I was like, should be able to make a solution out of this, right? So that's kind of I kind of started with the idea like uh, I don't know, just in general to help our planet's forests. Like if we use less trees with notebooks, that would probably help our planet a bit. Um,
Hmm.
and kind of set the goal like if I also could plant a tree back for our products, then I could also maybe create nature. So I set the goal for myself. Let's try to plant 100,000 trees in my life. That's kind of where it started.
Oh, wow, okay. And remind me what the numbers are. Like three football pitches every minute are cut off, or
Yeah,
something along those lines.
yeah, so it's like 30 football fields per minute, but then about five for the paper industry. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. And you often say that this is not only about notebooks, but also fixing something that is fundamentally broken, like the system is broken.
yeah.
Um, what exactly felt wrong to you?
Well, kind of like if you go a bit back on how paper originated, it's going to be a little bit of a long story, but I think we've got time. But it's basically
Yeah.
it used to be like we used to use waste to make paper, like old cloths and stuff, and there from that we took the fibers and made like papers as a more like a getting rid of waste, right? But then at one point we invented the press and book printing and these kind of things, and we were in need for more fibers, so that's why we started to use trees to make paper. It's a bit of a shortcut, but that's kind of like we started to use trees, and then the demand for paper increased so much. We started using paper for everything because it was relatively cheap. So we started using it for writing, printing, but also packaging and these kind of things. And now, if we look at the industry now, it's like in the top 10 biggest industries of the planet, and just consuming a lot of trees, but also very inefficiently going from trees into paper, like using a lot of water, chemicals, energy. And then we kind of end up with a paper that's not designed to be recycled, right? So we kind of recycle it, but we actually downcycle it. So if you could
Hmm.
reinvent the paper industry, you would probably not use trees and fibers, but you would probably use a different resource that's much higher quality, that's much easier to recycle. And I think,
Hmm.
um, if I'm honest, I think a lot of people think that we're doing very like sustainable stuff by actually, at least I'm from the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, is the recycling system of paper is amazing, right? So almost all the paper is being picked up and recycled. So I think thereby
Hmm.
people also have the assumption that they're doing actually a sustainable deed, right? So they're doing good by handing in the paper. And I think thereby that kind of increases the problem. So you kind of see the shift from, okay, we have to stop single-use plastic, so maybe let's move into paper because paper is made from trees, natural resource, and good to recycle. So like an industry that's kind of harmful already, we're even increasing that, and that's I think devastating for our planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how would you describe Moyo then in this kind of like paradigm of you trying to reinvent what resources will be used?
Yeah.
What the description look like today?
Well, I think our model is kind of like threefolded, right? So one of them is we use different material to make paper, and in our case, that's
Hmm.
waste stone. So it's stone And from that, we create a material that's from much higher quality, and thereby we can create reusable products out of that. So basically, we're most known for our notebook. So you write in it, and then by using water, you can erase the ink again, use the notebook again, and do that 500 times. And then for every product that we sell, we plant back a tree. So it's material used from waste that lasts longer, that gives back to nature.
Okay, cool. Is there a land or something like physically? How does it work whenever you sell a product and then you are supposed to plant a tree?
So we donate. We work with three
Oh,
planting
okay.
projects in one in Kenya and two in Tanzania. And I lived in Kenya, and that's
Awesome.
why kind of the link to Kenya. It's like an area that I
Oh,
love.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, great job. Um, Back to business. You operate across B2B, B2C, and B2R.
Mhm.
How do these differ in purpose and not just revenue?
Yeah. I think we've started with B2C, right? So direct to consumer, web shop, Amazon, these kind of channels, and I think that really
Hmm.
helped us to build the brand. So that's where people became conscious about the problems in the paper industry and start to use our product. And we also were able to get feedback on the product, improve the product, and I think that's where we learned a lot in the beginning. But it was also a channel for us to create marketing and awareness. So through people buying from our web shop, we got more and more inquiries for companies that actually want to buy the products. So that's kind of our marketing funnel, I would say, into companies has been our web shop. And then I think towards retail, it's at least in the Netherlands, we learned that once you're a bit known as a brand, then also the stores become interested in selling these products. So last year, one of the bigger retail chains in the Netherlands came to us to ask if we would be open to be available in their stores.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, B2B is the core of your business, right?
Yeah.
Like revenue wise, like even though B2C like builds the market and awareness, B2B is still like the revenue driver, right?
Yeah. So at this point, about 80% is business to business, and most of them are companies that are ordering a notebook with their own cover. So we kind of optimize to customize the product for yourself so that you can have your branding on it and then use it for your employees or your customers or for an event that you have or an onboarding gift or these kind of things. I think companies tend to want to be seen as a sustainable company caring for our planet. So that's something that our product perfectly aligns with, to give something that says like, hey, we care.
Yeah, okay, cool. And what does the actual onboarding of a new B2B customer look like today?
Sorry.
What does the onboarding of a new B2B customer look like today?
Um, well, onboarding to that extent, like we've created like pitch decks, kind of, with all the different
Hmm.
products, like a catalog that we have, and then linked to that, there's like links to design instructions, how to make a design file, and then to watch like production. But a lot of to be honest, a lot is still manual. So it's a lot of emailing back and forth.
Okay, can you recall any challenges along the way that you managed to resolve though? Like even though the process is manual, but then building a comprehensive B2B system can be challenging. Maybe you can recall some challenges and solutions?
Yeah, one of the things that we had in the beginning was like um, the skill we had to kind of customize, right? So let's say it's more profitable if we do 10,000 notebooks at the same time as 10, right? Which is kind of obvious. So we were always
Hmm.
combining productions to and then ask like companies, okay, the 30th of this month production starts, please send your files before that. And
Hmm.
then moving fast forward, like 2, 3 years later, we optimized with our warehouse. They invested in a printing facility with a partner, and now they can do batches of 25 of any type of our cover relatively fast. So, and we introduced kind of a soft cover, and that makes it price wise and time wise, we can now do like on a very relatively small scale, very competitive, like full color notebook for yourself. Uh, and then within like 5 working days or something, right? So the challenge that we had in the beginning is not really there anymore, I would say.
Okay, sounds good. Like, it, if I was to imagine a situation where you have like a spike in sales and then you have the orders for like 10 times more than you produce today, like, would you imagine being like in a situation that you have a challenge to produce those, or is it a normal situation in your mindset?
Well, for now, like that would still be fine, I would say. Yeah. So our warehouse is kind of optimized for larger volumes, and we have
Hmm.
plenty of stock of the, let's say, stone paper sheets. So
Okay,
we could take that in. So if you know someone that wants a big batch, then hit me up.
cool.
We
Sounds good.
can test
If
the
I hear
warehouse together.
Okay, so if I hear of anyone who is willing to order that much, of course, I'll
Yeah.
give you a shot.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about tech for the moment. So as far as I remember, you use Shopify as the back system webflow for the website, for your
Mhm.
B2C website, and Pipedrive and back office as a CRM. Can you describe your setup these days? Like, how did you coordinate all of these different sales channels into this tech setup that you've got these days?
Yeah. So we it kind of has an origin. We used to have Shopify, and then at one point we built our own CRM. So we had like two interns, like software developers, who built our own CRM. And by the time they were ready, and the reason for that is because we wanted multiple languages and different currencies, and like being able to
Hmm.
have different landing pages for different countries. And by the time we're kind of ready, Shopify launched markets. So we're kind of
Hmm.
done building, and then actually we've built something that was also available on Shopify. So then we
Hmm.
kind of like the work that it took to keep up with our own CRM system. We invested in building just the website again, and we did a whole rebrand again. And then
Hmm.
we kind of had Webflow and Shopify running next to each other. So like we had two kind of URLs. One is for web shop and the one is for website. And
Hmm.
they looked the same, but they were actually two different websites.
Hmm.
That was not. I feel it was not really ideal because it was a cheaper solution because most of the page we could build in Webflow, right? It's much cheaper than Shopify developers because that's very like
For sure.
special coding and stuff. But then I know sale purposes wise and these kind of things, we think it was not ideal to have like two websites that are connected to each other. And then now I think Shopify launched the Shopee Flow, so that's good connect Webflow and Shopify, and that's what we
Yeah.
integrated half a year ago. So now everything is in, let's say, the front end is all Webflow, and then there's still Shopify in the back.
Awesome. And where does Pipedrive come in when it comes to processes? Is
Yeah.
it
So
connected to
no,
Webflow or Shopify by any means?
no, not yet. No. So that's like a separate system that we use. Yeah. And in Pipedrive, we do have like an integration with invoicing and these kind of things. So like the whole B2B part, I feel is like separate from the B2C part. Uh,
Hmm.
Except for you can inquire for a price and these kind of things on the website.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So there is no like B2B setup on the website, like with tier pricing or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's kind of there as in it's just a landing page with the prices, right? So but you cannot order through
Gotcha.
the website. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a reason behind this decision that you are not automating things online, or is it like basically the roadmap?
It's kind of this discussion that we've been having for multiple years already. Like, is it worth investing in it? Because
Hmm.
it's still kind of I feel that there's always a lot of manual stuff with any order. So then you kind of
Hmm.
build a system that probably can help a part of the clients. And at the
Hmm.
same time, you also want to be. I like to be in touch with the clients to make it a bit more personal, right? So do you want all the clients to go through an automated flow, and then kind of the volume that we have is also not that much that you. We always feel like it's for now it's still nice to be in touch with the clients, you know. And then
Hmm.
at one point you might want to build something for any client under, let's say, 100 units or 250 units, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like more of advantages, like more personalized, you can coordinate with the client, but at the same time, are there any disadvantages of you being like a little bit more proactive customer, better customer experience, etc.? Like, is there anything that you would recall in this as something that is negative?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it limits to at one point of scaling, right? I mean, for like if the volume increases at this point, we need more people, and at one point you would want to do, and I mean, it's not that complex in the end. It's a notebook, right? So you kind of pick your cover and these kind of things. So it is able to be automated at one point. Um,
Hmm.
so I mean, it would be nice to. It's more. I would say it's more. A cash flow investment decision, like where do we invest in when, and
Hmm.
then we decided like this project and maybe wait for a bit. But it is on our list, right, to develop. Yeah,
Yeah, so is it like 2026, 2027, or is it like long term? How do you design that, like internally planning wise?
it kind of I would say 2023, but then we'll keep on postponing.
Same for us. I mean, we keep postponing the same thing again and again,
Right?
especially when it comes to like a more comprehensive project. So I
So
feel
that's
yeah.
that's the answer
Do you
to
have a
yeah.
I
But
mean, I wish I could describe it instead of you, but at the same time, I kind of like I try to underline some specific kind of like question or bottlenecks that people come across while building the company. And do you have a feeling in terms of the scale at at which you will the systems will start dictating the strategy instead of supporting, like meaning like long term wise, and their limitations?
um, I would say we kind of when we start building the company, every problem that we had, we fixed with a new employee,
Hmm.
just like hiring
Okay.
people. And then at one point, um, whenever someone left, we didn't replace it, but we tried to pick up the work by the team and really see like okay, what's really essential, what's like nice to have, must have. And at this point, we've been doing that, and we're just with 5 people at this point, right? So um, I would say now we're in the phase rather than start hiring new people again. I would say like let's see how we can automate things that at one point start taking a lot of work. So now we're kind of
Hmm.
in that stage, I would say. So our solution has always been hiring more people, which might not have been the smartest decision, but it's yeah,
Hmm.
maybe a lack of knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting. I mean, hearing the same thing and again, you gotta hire some more people, especially with niche experience and expertise to
yeah.
solve problems. But again, the only time can show us if it's really true.
Yeah.
Cool. MOYU is very strong in Netherlands, you said, but
Mhm.
much less visible uh, abroad, right? What have you learned about earlier international demand?
Um, if I'm super honest, I think it's been harder than I expected, as in building an international business. Um, we've been, I think, since 4 years now. We're kind of like going on and off, like into new markets. We first invested in it a lot with a bigger team, and then we downscaled the team again, and we're kind of back at it with hiring new agents in all these countries, and investing a bit in landing pages, but do it in a very lean and mean way. So not too much upfront cost, just testing the waters, dipping the toe in the water. And then if things start to go, um, then invest more in those countries. But the speed at which we grew in the Netherlands in the first year, we kind of expected that to copy paste that into a new country. And you know,
Hmm.
Germany's market is 5 times the size of the Netherlands. Okay, then if we grew at this pace in the Netherlands, then this is gonna be our, like let's be a bit careful. Let's not do like the same growth curve,
Hmm.
but a bit smaller. But I feel we
Hmm.
haven't touched like 10% of the Netherlands growth, right? So the yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like it can be a language barrier that they want to work with German speaking people only, or is it something about the marketing awareness?
I think it's first of all, I think our product has a word of mouth effect. So in smaller countries,
Hmm.
that's easier. People talk about it more. So if we sold 100,000 product in the Netherlands, the chances are bigger that people meet with the same product or talk about it. So I think that's one thing. Second is network. So in the Netherlands, I had quite a good network, new people. I go to a lot of events, meet new people. So that also helps, I think, into like introduction into corporates. And thirdly, I mean, that's what people advise me, and I think it's true. Like, if you really want to do a country, you have to learn the country, right? Like, how do people, what do they do? What do they like? What do they don't like? What's the competition doing? These kind of things. So you have to be kind of on top of it, on more than just translating the website. I think there's more to it. So something, as an example, let's say we learn for the German market, they like qualitative products, right? So sustainability for them is a bit more high quality products that just last long, right? And
Hmm.
the French market, for instance, as we learn, is the language of love, and they love sustainability as a beautiful story that they want to hear about something, you know. So sustainability to those two markets already super different. One is quality, and the other one is more a beautiful story. So in your advertisement, things that you do, the tone of voice that you use might be or should maybe be super different to those countries. So how
Hmm.
like how do we sell the product in those countries can be very different, I would say.
Okay. And how do you approach the testing though, like in all of these new countries? Is it like a small budget, kind of like ads campaign, or is there a more comprehensive approach to that?
Yeah, it's a simple landing page that we have like a template for that that kind of
Hmm.
explains the whole company within one page.
Hmm.
Small budgets with more like Google for keywords that people search on in the Netherlands. Um,
Hmm.
then we use Awin a bit, which is like an affiliate network. So you kind of pay if someone clicks through your website. That's
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
the only it's a safer way to invest in a new country, I would say, because you only pay if you sell something. And then lastly, there's agents. So we're always looking for B2B agents, someone that says like I'm able to sell this product to corporates in this country. Yeah.
Hmm. What's been the hardest looking for these kind of agents?
Um, Actually finding them,
Is,
and I think
is it like manual work that you do personally, or is it like your team that handles it?
yeah, I'm kind of doing it, and it's a bit like network based. You know, people say like, "Oh, talk to this person or that person," but then actually finding the right persons is super hard, right? And with some people, you have like 10 chats to not come to any deal, kind of. And with some people, you speak to 10 minutes, and it's like an amazing match, you know. So that's yeah, you cannot really. Yeah, it's also a bit luck, I would say.
Oh, really? Okay. I mean, still it has to be there, right? For to some degree at least. And you still had some orders over like abroad, right? So from Europe in general, like to my memory, over 5,000 orders, like historically, that you had.
Yeah, something like that. So I would say the proud thing is that from every European country, we've probably had orders, uh, but
Hmm.
there hasn't been like big spikes in any country. So
Hmm.
yeah.
What has been the hardest to you personally or to your team to make those customers purchase again? And maybe you have statistics, were they mostly B2C or B2B customers? Just for the context.
The problem that investors would say our company has is that our product is too good. So a notebook could last for 5 years. So once you
Uh-huh.
buy one, you probably won't really come back unless you need like refills or an extra pen or something, right?
Hmm.
But I think that's also the point that we want to make, kind of like stop overconsumption and just make products that last very long. Um,
Hmm.
so recurring customers has always been in general around 20-25%. So there's something that people still come back, like either buy it, buy it as a gift for someone or these kind of things. But it's not a formula to scale. I would say it's not yeah, it's not really our thing. That we see like
Okay.
someone buy something and then that client always buys 10 extra. That's not really working for us. No.
Okay. Well, I mean, at least some perspective. Any ideas about how to potentially solve this problem in 2026? Like get in more orders and make like increase the retention rates?
Yeah, for now, our main thing is this idea with agents that we have. So we I mentioned it, but we just started in November to find those
Okay.
people and launching landing pages. That at least someone in their country searching for the right keywords in that language can at least find us. So let's say if someone in Germany was looking for Steinpapier, they didn't come to our website because we didn't have keywords on Steinpapier. So that's at least those maybe basics we're trying to set up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Reusable packaging. Uh, you recently started talking publicly about reusable e-commerce packaging.
Yeah.
And before we go deeper, can you explain where this came from and the problem that you're trying to solve there?
Yeah. So maybe to take back to our product assortment in general, right? So we have notebooks, but then we expanded into games and stationery, or let's say office supplies. So we launched sticky notes and flip overs and also like gaming products like Yahtzee and these kind of like
Oh,
games
okay.
you keep
Cool.
scores and erase again. Um,
Yep, yep,
so
yep.
so last year we concluded uh, we kind of have a solution for a lot of single-use paper products. Theoretically, everything can still be improved, but there's quite some solutions. So that's why we said, and now then, if you look in the paper industry, there's paper and cardboard. Now let's see if we can find solutions for cardboard slash packaging.
Hmm.
So the solution that we came up with is we create a cardboard box, but then from stone paper, and launch those into a closed loop system. So for e-commerce, that specifically means that if once you've done our checkout, then if you're in the right area with a delivery point for the box, which is the Netherlands, then you can select a reusable packaging, pay a deposit for it, and then once you hand the box back in, you get your deposit back and we get the box back. Um,
Hmm.
it's kind of driven by laws that are coming up, the PPWR, which is like setting standards for reusable packaging. So we're kind of um, yeah, piloting and testing for those. And that's the e-commerce part. And then those same similar boxes can also be used into business to business distribution, right? So companies, let's say a store that's getting supplied every week or every day that at one point that will be standardized boxes that can be reused. So we're
Hmm.
introducing those boxes in that system as well.
Okay. How long has it been that you released the product to the market?
Um, well, as in it's kind to be if I'm honest, like the product is there in the warehouse for a few months now, but we are not selling it yet because there's some technical stuff with the checkout function that Shopify has, which
Hmm.
I heard was fixed somewhere this week. So it's kind of live, but we haven't been shipping those yet.
Yeah, I was gonna try it just earlier today, trying to find where I can select all of that on your checkout
Yeah.
pages. I mean, it's fine that you're fine-tuning everything. This is very good. In terms of the overall product development, what has been the hardest? Building the tech logistics, or like even trying to change the customer's behavior that you are preparing and then getting the reusable box.
Um, I think I think all of the above will be the same. That will be. It's kind of like a cluster problem, right? So, I think, but it starts with probably the customer behavior. They want a solution that's easy to use. So that's one thing. So if you have to
Hmm.
hand it back in, that's kind of a burden, I would say. So
Hmm.
I would say that we'll probably start with the very dark green customers that would probably care about this and really, buy this on purpose and hand it back in. And then logistics wise, that's we're using a third party for that, so they can kind of manage it. But they're
Hmm.
I would say the issue is more costs. It's more expensive to pick up the box and bring it back to us than a single-use paper box. So we need volumes in that to be able to compete with throwaway boxes, I would say. And then
Okay.
the tech part, it's kind of like, I mean, I just mentioned like Shopify was being a bit annoying, but I think that's least so that will be fixed. That's kind of like that will be done.
I own Shopify Plus, by the way.
No,
For mm, okay. Well, okay, sounds good. And where do you ask your customers to select that? Is it on the checkout page with some like minor adjustments of the structure?
it's after the payment, so it's on a thank you
Oh,
page.
after
And then Shopify launched this, but you probably know better, this upsell. Like after the checkout, you can do like an
yeah, yeah,
upsell.
yeah. Thank you.
In that
Hmm.
upsell, we
Thank you
did a
for that.
box.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so it's on the thank you page that I'm supposed to see this. Okay,
No, no,
cool. So it's volumes being the major problem right now to keep up with the pace and the financial part of it, right? So
no,
it makes sense. Okay. Cool. So, and I'm assuming that the driver here will be to make sure that you've got enough traffic in the sales orders, right?
yeah,
Which shouldn't be a problem given your conversion rates being at a high level, as far as I remember,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And we're selling this concept I mean, we are using this box, but we're also selling it to any other web shop in the Netherlands, right? So any web shop can use this packaging solution. As long as they run on Shopify or WooCommerce and they have this checkout, then they can also implement our packaging. That's kind of hopefully by that we can get some volumes.
Okay. How do you, like a side question to that then, how do you approach the sales for the product? Is it like conferences? I saw that you attended one like a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Well, as in because the product just got ready to sell, I kind of have a lead list of companies that are interested. So this is still a list, but
Mhm.
I couldn't really follow through, so I kind of left it there. So for now, I would rather just onboard, let's say, those 10. And I think then our potential customers in the Netherlands is quite a lot of like eco-conscious web shops, right? That sell, let's say that are, if I would just go into the B Corp community, there's probably 600 companies in the Netherlands. A lot of them have a web shop. So those would be probably the early adapters of web shops that would care about reducing their packaging. So I would
How do you
create a
man?
list here.
You would create what? Sorry.
So I would probably start at those networks to find like lead list. Yeah.
I was about to ask, like as a director founder, um, how do you manage to find time to do all of that, given that like there is the website, there are all of these like B2B things, internationalization, and then now new product. How do you organize your day to day then?
Yeah. And then there's like 200 emails that you get every day, right? And and Slack messages and these kind of things. So it's always a challenge, right? I mean, we try to keep all the balls in the air, but what works for me at least is I try to keep my mornings a bit like focus hours. So I try to start a bit earlier, let's say 7:30-ish, and then
Okay.
until 10, 11. I try to pick a project that I say like I want this to go from here to here, which can be an investment round, which can be like launching the stone packer, which can be anything, and then at least I have
Hmm.
5 mornings a week that I things progress, right? But
Hmm.
it can also be a lead list, like hey, I see this opportunity here with museum shops in Germany, so maybe this let's dive into that for 2 hours. And then for the rest of the day, I'm just yeah, it kind of that the day just happens, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So until like from 7:30 to 10-ish or whatever, you already have all of those Slack messages and emails reviewed, right? So at least you're trying to, and
Yeah,
then you pick up a project, correct? Okay. Interesting. Do you manage to find time for yourself then? Given that you started at 7:30?
yeah. I try to do sports almost every day, so
Oh,
that's
okay.
yeah. And then
Cool. What do you do out of interest?
I do my main sport is kickboxing,
Oh, okay.
I used to play football, but it's a bit lower, and yoga. So like yoga and kickboxing is the two opposites, I would say, but it's like a fun combination.
Well, at least you're breathing. At
What
least
about you? Do you do
fine.
sports? What sports do you do?
I do tennis. I do tennis. I play a little bit of paddle. I obviously go to the gym, but it's like I do not really count that as sports. But like the
No.
actual thing that I kind of like I'm into is like real tennis. I watched when during the conference I tried to wake up earlier because like 7:30 or 7 a.m. ish. There was a typical start of the games during the Australian Open. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the sports, but then it's like like you spend like 2 hours 3 hours a day trying to keep up with it with everything that's going in the sports world, and then you go to the conference. It's kind of
Nice.
like
Nice.
that's where I am. But I mean I used to try. I tried quite a few sports
Yeah.
and different like divisions of that
Uh,
during the life. Cool. Kind of like to wrap it up real quick. If we were sitting here in late 2026, what would make you say MOYU is truly working?
for me, it would be amazing if I would see more traction per country. So like internationally, like that we could really like have a lift off, um,
Hmm.
and and successful pilots for the boxing project, uh,
Okay.
for the
Wow.
packaging,
Okay.
to have like a few things going. Like that the packaging is at least tested in the market, feedback, ready to be improved.
And
Um,
10 times more of volumes, right? Orders wise for B2B. That we'll try to find for you guys.
Always welcome. Yeah, yeah, but yeah. Now, of course.
Sounds good. Well, we'll
Yeah.
do our best. And the
So,
last one, what advice would you give founders trying to build circular businesses inside linear markets?
um, I'm just experiencing, and probably most of circular founders have that it just takes more time. Like it's hard to get finance. The business model is different. So I just think, let's say if you take a linear business, private equity companies invest in it within 7 years, they want to exit. I think with linear circular business, it will take 10, 15 years. So it needs more patience. Don't go for the fast buck, and just I would say sit it out. Sit it through, and you're building the new economy. I would say so. It's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and given that you are in the, like specifically about you, like being in the top 10 industries across the globe, I mean, even though it's something new, but long-term wise, I mean, it might be something that's gonna bring a lot more attention to the
Yeah.
business, I would say, to this year.
It sounds like there's some potential
Cool.
in it. Yeah.
Not some, a lot of potential, I would say. I would put it that way. Cool. Royal, thank you so much. This was insightful. Thank you so much for sharing the challenges, the solutions that you've tried, what you're trying to achieve over the course of the next year or few years. And then, yeah, for anyone listening, please visit Moyo at moyo-notebooks.com. And is it your shop or is it your website?
Now
moyo-notebooks.com.
it's both. Now it's both. Yeah. And
No,
the,
it's
and the,
both. Okay,
and
cool.
the shorter URL is mojo.rocks. Like you also land there.
Oh, rocks. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Moyo.rocks. Okay, cool. So anyone listening, I'll leave the links down below in the description. Thank you for watching and thank you, Will, for joining.
Thanks for your questions, man. Thanks. Great chat. See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.